Hi everybody, my name is Chris Burns. I'm the artist and creator of Chikara Power of God, and today is the first part of how to create covers for your comics and manga. I decided to do a two-part video series for this because growing up, learning how to do manga and comics, creating covers was a big challenge for me because I really didn't know how to do it and what was the best approach to do it. So without further ado, let's get started. As always, I'm working in Clip Studio Paint, the #1 software for creating comics and manga, so if you guys don't have Clip Studio, go check it out. There's a free trial, and there's 2 versions that you can purchase. When coming up with covers for your comics or manga, there are some things to take into consideration. The first one is, what do you want your cover to convey? Do you want it to tell the events that are happening in that specific volume of your story, or do you want it to be completely random and just be a fun illustration that captures your audience with, fun characters and colors and backgrounds? For my story, Chikara, I like to do a mixture of both. Sometimes my covers tell what's going to happen in that specific book, but then other times it's just a fun character or, a fight scene that, might not happen until later on. So I kind of like to keep my viewers and my fans kind of on their toes so they can't guess what's going to happen. Once you have a basic idea of what you want your cover to look like in terms of, meaning, I guess, behind the cover, the next thing is you have to do some inspiration research. Find out what favorite artists that you like to read, whether it's manga or comics, how do they do their covers. For me personally, my inspirations are Kohei Horikoshi from My Hero Academia and Masashi Kishimoto, the creator of Naruto. Those are my 2 top where I get inspiration from my covers in terms of layout and design. Once you've done your research and you have a good idea in mind, now it's time to put that idea on paper. As you can see on the screen, I went ahead and got a base sketch down for the 2 background models, and then I'm using 3D models within Clip Studio to help me with my anatomy for these 2 fight scene poses. For most of my covers, I like to do some symmetrical stuff. So I have the 2 characters in the background mirroring each other. One's taller than the other, the main character and his anti-hero. I don't want to get into it because I don't want to spoil the story because this is going to be book 5's cover and book 4 is not out yet. But I went ahead and made them mirror each other just because that's the style I want this to be. I want to show that, these guys are going to fight at some point and that these guys are not all buddy-buddy, and I felt like this was the best approach to convey that feeling. Once I got my 3D models all positioned and placed and the background sketch done, now I was planning on doing a finer sketch. This is when I go in and I start adding details to the rough sketch in terms of, hair, eyes, clothing, facial structure, just getting a more detailed version out just for when I start inking. I have a really good blueprint to go by. The one thing I really like about Clip Studio is the fact that you can use 3D models to help with your anatomy. I literally brought 2 models in that had no poses at all, and I got them looking the exact way I wanted to. And then from there, I could go in and tweak more with my own artistic ability to see, which works more in terms of the hand width or the hand size, head size, clothing, and all that kind of stuff. But Clip Studio definitely is a really good program just to help get the rough layouts out for you if you're not good with anatomy. A common problem that I used to have when coming up with covers for my story was I would come into art block when creating covers. And that was because I had all these ideas in my head about what the cover should look like, how it should be, but also I didn't want to copy from another artist subconsciously because I've read so much manga and etc, etc. So if you're ever experiencing art block to where you can't create what you feel like you need to create, take some time away. Definitely take a break, come back to it later. That's something that I like to advocate for all art, not just manga and comics. But take some time away, get some fresh air, get some inspiration, and go ahead and start researching again. That's another thing that I like to do when I'm getting art block, to just research some more. So I'm going to throw up on the screen some examples of what I like to research when coming up with covers, or just in general, just ideas from various creators. And this can definitely help you in the long run when you're trying to come up with covers, or in general, just art. As you can see, I got the basic layout of everything done with the rough sketch to the fine sketch, and I went ahead and added the logo just so I can make sure the placement for the logo was good, because I don't want my logo to clash with the colors of the main characters here. Once I get done with the fine sketch, then I go on to inking. My process for inking is pretty straightforward. I did a live stream on it not too long ago, so if you want to watch the full detailed version of the live, which is on the screen right now, but it's sped up of course, you can go check that out on my YouTube channel. All that is going to be at the back end of the video with the information tag. When I do my inking or line art for my manga or my covers, I like to use a specific type of brush. It's a custom brush that kind of gives my line art a traditional vibe. For those of you that don't know the terminology between traditional and digital, It basically just means one is working on paper and the other is working on a computer. For me personally, I don't like my line art to look super digital. I don't like it to look really, really crisp and like, you could look at it and tell it was done on a computer. But I also don't like working traditionally either because I actually tend to have a lot of mistakes. But to get around that curve, I made a custom brush within Clip Studio to where my line art looks traditional as if it was done on paper. And also I can draw freely and have freedom to correct my mistakes and undo and redo and all that stuff that you can do digitally. And once I get done with all of the line art, I go through and add all the blacks that I need to. That way when I'm coloring, I don't have to worry about it. This has been part 1 on how to create covers for your comics and manga. The next part, I'm going to really dive deep on how I color, what my coloring process is, and how coloring with traditional media can help you by also working in Clip Studio.